In this video, we're going to be comparing the Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless 3 versus the 1More Evo. I'll also be including microphone samples of both of these earbuds, so be sure to stick around to the end. So now, let's just jump straight in. Now, first things first, let's talk about the connectivity, right? So connectivity on both the 1More Evo and the Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless 3. Now, while they both feature Bluetooth 5.2 along with high-res codecs, the Momentums are featuring aptX Adaptive, the 1Mores are featuring LDAC. Only the 1More Evo right here are featuring a functioning multi-point connectivity. So at least as of the making of this video. So with multi-point, I can easily have both of these, I can easily have the 1Mores connected to both my my Xiaomi 11 Lite right here, as well as my iPhone 12 Pro. So I can have them connected to both, whichever one I want to use. So if I want to use the burner, I can take calls on that. If I want to use my main line, I can take calls on that. So no big deal. So that's how that multi-point connectivity is working for your boy. So as far as we know right now, Sennheiser will be bringing multi-point via over-the-air firmware update to the Momentum True Wireless 3s. But as of the making of this video, that has not been released yet. So we just have to wait for them to pull that off. But for connectivity right now, the win is going to go to the 1More Evo. So that's going to bring us over to the battery life on the 1More Evo versus the Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless 3. So when it comes to noise cancellation turned on the Momentum True Wireless 3, I managed to get 4 hours and 51 minutes. That's with noise cancellation turned on. And with the 1More Evo, I managed to get 4 hours and 6 minutes. Now, to be clear, that's with LDAC on this one and aptX on this one. So battery life here is going to be sort of a win here for the Momentum True Wireless 3. Now, I wouldn't say that either of these battery lives are particularly great when in, full usage like that, but it's what we expect when we're talking about some high-end earbuds that are packing higher res codecs. Plus, my testing is also done at 75% volume. So that's something you want to keep in mind. But overall, and then also, so we can throw that in there, with noise cancellation turned off, I can get almost 7 hours out of the Momentums, and the Evo I get about 6.5 hours. So they're pretty close neck and neck with noise cancellation turned off, but just something to keep in mind. But for battery life, as close as it is, the win's going to go to the Momentum True Wireless 3. So now let's move over to comfort, because comfort is one of the most important features when it comes to any set of true wireless earbuds, because if they ain't comfortable, you can't enjoy your music. So this is why it's one of the most important things. Now, obviously comfort is highly subjective. Everybody's ears are different, but I'm just going to base this off my own ears and my experience. So for me, comfort here, the win is going to go to the 1More Evo. So while both of these are comfortable for my large ears, the small compact size and ergonomic shape of the 1More Evo's earbuds is more compatible with my ears. Now that's just a personal level. Now they have a lighter feeling in the ear, especially when they're being used with something like a SpinFit CP1025. That's what I've got on them right here. That's the SpinFit ear tips right there. So super comfortable, lightweight. So the Momentum True Wireless 3 are slightly larger, but the win here is easy for comfort for the 1Mores. Now, on the other hand, we've also got stability, right? So grip. So that's for all my people out there that are joggers, runners, doing sports, workouts, gym rats, anybody doing that sort of stuff. When it comes to grip, the Momentum True Wireless 3, they're going to take the win. So they've got these wing tips right here. Now I've got the smaller wing tips on there, but they have a couple of different sizes that are included in the package. But that gives them exceptional grip. If you're familiar with using something like the Galaxy Buds, they also had these like wingtips that help them just really sit securely inside your ear. That's what's going to give the Sennheisers the win for grip and stability. Now, moving over to the app support. Now, both of these have app support. For 1More, you have the 1More Music app. For Sennheiser, you have the Sennheiser Smart Control. So both of these apps work quite well. They're both available for both iOS and Android devices. But the Sennheiser app is far more fleshed out. There's way more features. It's more functional. So for me, it's the better app. Also, it benefits from having higher budgets. It's been developed for a much longer period of time. So while they both work, the Sennheiser one gives you much more control. You get full EQ support. You can make your own presets. You also can change all of the different touch controls. And that's a big thing. So for support, app support, the win goes for Sennheiser. Also, just to throw this in there, for touch controls, One more, if you want to see my full review, I'll leave a link to that in the video description. The 1More Evo, the touch controls are janky. You can't really adjust them the way that you should be able to. With Sennheiser, you can fully program all of the controls. So that's a big, big W for Sennheiser when it comes to controls as well. So now let's move over and let's get into the meat and potatoes here. Let's get into some of that performance that we all know and love. So first up, let's start with the ambient mode. So now let me go ahead and pop these open once again. So as you see, we're kind of doing B-roll on the fly here. For ambient sound, once again, the win goes to the Momentum True Wireless 3. And the reason I'm saying that is because they have a more natural sounding ambient mode, along with providing control over how much ambient noise you want to let in. They actually have a slider where you can kind of make that adjustment so you can have as much white noise or as little white noise as you want. Totally up to you. And the Evo, they have a decent dual mode ambient. So basically they have one where it's full pass through and another one that focuses on voices, but there isn't a huge difference between the two modes. But when you put them both back to back, listen to them both side by side, you can really tell the difference here between Sennheiser and 1More when it comes to the ambient sound. It's an easy win for Sennheiser when it comes to the ambient. Now let's move over to the active noise cancellation. Now, for active noise cancellation testing, I use 85 decibels of airliner cabin noise, along with 75 decibels worth of crowd noise for testing. Now, this was a close one. If you guys are hearing me, this is a close test here. So I tested both with using the SpinFit CP1025 tips, along with Comply 200 memory foam tips. So I wanted to test for both to see kind of how things would play out. Now, the Momentum True Wireless 3, they edge out the Evo with silicone tips in use. Like they just edge them out by a bit, but you can tell the difference. It is very, very noticeable when, not so much in the crowd noise test, but in the cabin noise test, the airliner test, these block out more noise with silicone tips. Now with foam tips, it was pretty much a tie. And I think that's because the foam, they passively isolate so much noise. But with silicone tips, the same tips on both of these earbuds, the Sennheisers have stronger active noise cancellation. Now, just want to make this clear, even though the Sennheisers are winning this active noise cancellation test, the 1Mores are nothing to scoff at. Their noise cancellation power for the price that they're bringing and the fact that they can go toe to toe with the Sennheisers for noise cancellation, kudos to 1More for bringing that kind of power, but a win is a win. So we have to give that to Sennheiser. Now let's move over to the volume. So sound volume, right? How loud do they get? The Momentum True Wireless 3 are pulling in 116.2 decibels. The 1More Evo are pulling in 113.7 decibels. So a little bit under 3 dB worth of difference. Now, to be clear, both of them get more than loud enough for me and for most human beings. But a win is a win. The Sennheisers, they definitely get louder. It is noticeable when you're listening to them. But once again, both of them, they get more than loud enough for me and most people. They're loud enough to like damage your hearing. So just keep that in mind. But now let's talk about sound quality. Let's get into the sound quality here. So once again, this was probably the toughest test that I had to do between the two of these. I really had to go back to back. I had to really handpick some specific tracks, really listen back and forth to see exactly what I was getting here. Now, while both of these have top tier sound quality, it's always going to ultimately come down to your own personal preferences. So with the 1Mores, now I can't say this enough. The 1Mores have S tier sound quality, S tier, top tier. Just very, very good. Like I can't say this enough. The only thing holding them back is the fact that you're forced to use their sound ID as opposed to a graphic equalizer. So only thing holding them back, because you get sketchy results with the sound ID. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it can be bad. It can be very hit or miss. So that's the only thing holding them back. That said, the Evo bring everything you want. Deep bass extension, a warm, rich mid-range, and crisp treble. But that being said, with the Momentum True Wireless 3, you get that excellent bass response. It digs deep, it rumbles nicely. The mids are more neutral and relaxed, but without being muddy. So they still bring excellent clarity for both male and female vocals. The treble is a bit more laid back, but it still provides airiness and clarity to horns and strings and cymbals if you're somebody who's into more instrumental type of music. Overall, the Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless 3 bring a more cohesive sound that creates a better listening experience in my own personal opinion. Now, if you happen to own both of these, earbuds, I really recommend you try a song by Chicano called Sabor a Mí, and you can hear, basically so that you can hear the subtle differences in the mid bass and the clarity in the treble between both of these options. That was the song where I was really able to start picking apart where one shined over the other. So it's a song by El Chicano called Sabor a Mí. That's the song. So now let's go ahead and move over to some microphone quality samples. This way you can hear both of these back to back to see which one is going to work best for you. All right, so here we have the microphone test for the Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Obviously I'm indoors in a semi-quiet room. So testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so here we have the microphone test for the 1More Evo. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Obviously, I'm indoors in a semi-quiet room. So, testing, 1, 2, 3. And here we have the Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless 3 in a simulated crowd noise environment. So, something like a busy bar, a crowded restaurant, or something along those lines. So, testing, 1, 2, 3. And here we have the 1More Evo in a simulated crowd noise environment. So something like a busy bar, a crowded restaurant, or something along those lines. So testing, 1, 2, 3. As always, you're going to have to be the judge of the microphone quality down in the comment section. Now, allow me to give you my final verdict here. So the 1More Evo are still an excellent value coming in at under $150. The fact that they can actually go toe-to-toe with the Momentum True Wireless 3, it speaks volumes of the sheer performance coming from an earbud at this price point. Now, while both of these options are top-tier competitors, one of these obviously outperforms the other in most categories. So if you're looking for peak performance across the board, the obvious choice is going to be the Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless 3. But if you're not interested in spending over $200 on a set of earbuds and still want that top tier performance, check out the video that I'm going to leave for you right up here on the screen. With that said, my name is Jefe, and I'm out this bitch.